been called lots of stuff. Yeah, I've done a lot of deed. I've had it rough and tough. You know I've smoked a lot of weed. Mellow, don't you know? Well, I've learned a thing or two, like when and where I should go to, what I should or shouldn't do. I've been left alone, no company, but that's alright with me, 'cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. I'd like to let it grow, you know I'm talking about my beard. I'll have you all know that I know sometimes it might look weird, but I got a friend upstairs whom I'll keep confiding in. I know he's there 'cause when I knock he always lets me in. Brings me peace with what it is and what is not for me. To accept what I see, they're looking back at me as big and ugly. Big and ugly. I could have been small and cute and play a flute like a dream, or sing like an angel, maybe play ukulele. But I got to work with my hands and keep dragging it along, banging on that old guitar. Sometimes I'll write a song. I lose a few friends, so it seems I got no enemies. 'Cause what you get is what you see, that's how it is with me. 'Cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. Big and ugly.
Hey, that's a good way to start. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Uglies. I'm your host. Oh my God, that's terrible. I'm your host, Josh Denny, and welcome back to the Big Uglies, the only news, entertainment, comedy, sports, sex toy review podcast where we talk about the things they won't talk about. And by we, of course, I mean myself and my one and only co-host, the very funny, the very tall, the very sensual Carl Spitali, ladies and gentlemen. Very tight, like a tiger. Yeah, that was maybe the roughest intro I've ever had. I don't know if you guys noticed, by the way, I just want to point this out. Had to put the Christmas tree up early because of all of these gifts we've been given since last Tuesday. I mean, it's like that. It's like that. All I do is win, no matter what. What'd you say?
Some of them are different. Some of them are like, things you didn't expect.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of the Christmas gifts are socks, and you're just like, I mean, I appreciate the thought, but this fucking sucks, and I don't want socks. I
looked at it, I was like, dude, I fucking needed socks.
Yeah, okay.
You're like, people don't know how big of a deal that is. Right? Yeah. Like, that's how I'm looking at some of the things.
I mostly don't even wear socks, so when I see socks, I just go back to Florida socks. Go back to your Senate seat in Florida.
Socks aren't a thing in Florida, really.
Yeah.
Socks are really a here thing.
California?
It's dude, I thought when I moved here, it was going to be just like Florida, where everybody, especially girls, just wore shorts and sandals all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you thought California was like it's depicted in the movies where everyone is blonde and attractive and tan.
No, I grew up in Florida, so I thought it was the same.
No.
You know.
No,
and even in the summers in New York and shit like that, when I be up there, like I get it if it's winter and it's cold. I'm not expecting that. But like here, it's hot as fuck outside. And they got pants on. Jeans on.
Well, there's a harsh
shoes.
reality. There's a harsh reality that I have to hit you with about Californian women, which is that the hot ones don't come here anymore. Okay. And when I say the hot ones, I'm talking like Midwestern, corn-fed, 5'9", blonde, tan, sandals, Daisy Dukes, like Jessica Simpson, Dukes of Hazzard, don't come here anymore. They go to Florida. And what we're left with are half sleeve tattooed white girls who wear the same beanie you're wearing right now, and they cover themselves so you don't see their self-inflicted cutting wounds or the places where they burn themselves putting crack and meth. We get the leftovers. So like if America were the movie Twins, Arnold would be in Florida and we would be left with Danny DeVito, and that's what you can put your penis in if you live in Los Angeles, is Danny DeVito.
No, they all moved to Nashville or some shit.
Yeah, that's also Florida North, as I like to call it, East Hollywood. Yeah,
there's a lot, but it's so funny too that you say that, because like every chick's profile on Bumble or some shit like that.
Okay, I'll give you an example. My friend Janelle
is like a tattoo. Like they all have tattoos now. Every girl has tattoos. So much so they all have tattoos where I don't like tattoos anymore.
Yeah,
I used to like, oh, look at that tatted up girl. She's hot.
Yeah, because it used to be rare. You used to see one of those once in a while, and you would be like, okay, right? Like that's good. So I'll give you an example. Like my friend, let me pull this up. My friend Janelle Wheeler, who was on American Idol. And she came to the ginormous food taping in Nashville, which is where she lived. I don't know if she still lives there or what. But anyway, this is like your good, wholesome, all-American white girl that used to come to California to chase her dreams, right? This is her face, right? Classic California, and then this is her on American Idol, right? This is like your good, all-American gal, right? They used to come to California. Not anymore. We don't get these anymore. We don't import them anymore. See, she's a game streamer.
What comes here now is what comes here now is just like the thing that got pepper sprayed by Fuentes.
That woman pepper sprayed by Nick Fuentes. Let's see her. This is probably like story of the week. Here she is, just pondering off in the distance. I wish I could how do I pull this so that it's like the majority of my screen? I'm not good at
just click it.
Well, I did, but then it takes me to the article, and look, now I'm looking at blacks. This isn't what I wanted. This is why I don't like clicking these. That has nothing to do with what I just was looking at.
She has like a name like the chick from Fight Club.
Who Bob Bitch Tits?
It's like Marla Rose.
Oh God. Yeah, Berwyn woman says far right streamer Nick Fuentes pepper sprayed her. Look at Nick just sitting here on his single bed. That, by the way, that's exactly the kind of bed I expect Nick Fuentes to sleep on.
That's gotta be photoshopped, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty hilarious. And I think it's pretty apt. It's very sort of
just nothing in his room. Just
just punkerish. Yeah, you and I did joke that when Nick pepper sprayed this woman, here's the screenshot of it here over to the right. We joked that he made the exact sound. He sounded exactly like our impression of him, where he's just like, "Bah, bitch."
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here, bitch. Yeah. It's so fucking funny. We should probably find the video of this. This is pretty good.
It was a funny thing that happened because, first of all, I got to tell you, like, this is what it's like when worlds collide.
Yeah.
So, as I'm on the interwebs, right? I'm on the interwebs, and I see this whole Fuentes thing, and then I see that I can no longer interact with. I knew I could no longer interact with Vito, our good friends over there at the biggest problem.
This
Vito
is something
Gesualdi.
that maybe who we thought was a good friend, right? Who we think is a good friend.
So he liberal blocked me. He liberal blocked me, but I seen. So Dick had posted.
Explain to the audience what liberal blocking is, because if people aren't following the way liberals are reacting to the all
right, so I think Vito and a couple other people figured out that if you block somebody, you can still see whatever the person who blocked them. You can still see their posts. You can see like their videos, everything that they interact with. You just can't engage with them and stuff. Oh, you found the video?
Yeah, I found the video. Here we go. Let's watch it. Just listen to his voice.
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing?
Fuck out of here. Very like serial killer like though, right?
Yeah. Just the light
like,
faintly coming through his front door. Yeah.
Oh my God! What are you doing?
Fuck out of here, I've watched this like 100 times. It's so funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, you were saying about Vito and the block ban. So people are pissed about the Elon removing the block function from Twitter.
Yeah. So if somebody blocks you,
yeah,
you'd still be able to view all their stuff, right? Like Owen Benjamin blocked me, but I can still view all his stuff.
Yes, Owen's blocked me. I'll show people what that looks like when people.
Yeah. So what Vito has done is he's gone and made his account. If you go back to his page, it's got a lock next to it. He's made his account was essentially a private account, in that you need to see. In order to see his stuff, you have to request a follow, and that's his way of circumventing the block.
Yeah, so when you block now, you can see everything, but then you get this little notice there that says so and so has blocked you.
Right.
And I probably should pull this down, because just by having his page up, someone will lead him to believe we were talking shit about him. And obviously, we have no shit to talk. This is clearly this video that's auto playing at the top of the feed is clearly a fully legitimate Kickstarter to raise money for more land, I'm assuming. So very, very interesting, very cool. And I'm sure that if there is any journalism to be done here, someone other than me will do it. But anyway, I digress.
So this whole fucking, like, what I call, lib blocking, this fucking veto blocking, is he makes his account private and then like removes you as a follower.
Yeah, force unfollows you, right?
Yeah. So that I'm like, wait, what happened to what happened to Vito's stuff? So Dick posts Vito's responses to people and agreements with people and quote posts of this whole pepper spray thing, and like he's got she has every right to like press charges on him, all this stuff. Like, this was a person who doxed him, put his shit on the internet, and was like, I'm coming to his fucking house, right? He had every right to do that. And Vito,
I wanted him to empty a clip in her. Like, when he
Vito went on here and was like, he's got every right. So I thought that shit was funny. And
yeah.
So I told Dick that I was babysitting Vito's house while the whole
Riley thing was happening. Yeah, you were hired security.
Yeah. So now Dick found out about that that like Vito wouldn't even tell him that he did that.
Yeah.
He was like
Yeah.
freaking out about it, but like I was watching his house.
But why would
So-
you pseudo ban? Why would you? This is the thing. If you didn't want people to know that, right? Why would you pseudo ban the guy you hired to do it?
But that's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
you know,
I'm just harmless, and this is why he fucking blocked me. Okay, he posted this fuck ass video. It was just some random fucking
wait. This is
Asian
the
video.
this is the obvious reason, but I think the deeper rooted reason is that the faggotry.
He hid the reply though on the video. He hid my reply.
Okay.
So, but anyways, the video is a Asian couple who takes turns and shifts driving a truck in somewhere in I'm assuming Japan. Vito does love the Japanese culture, but
oh yeah. They were some kind of
so they were being efficient. And he was like this, you know, and they're like cooking in the cab and they're sleeping together or like one is sleeping, one's driving and all this. And Vito just like quote posted it and said, "My ideal relationship."
Yeah. Living in a truck. Driving
and some harmless ribbing, just some harmless ribbing on my pal. I said, imagine the fucking smell of that cab.
Right.
I said the smell of that cab. I said it would smell worse in that cab than a summer's day in Mumbai.
Yeah.
And he hid the reply and removed me from followers and shit.
This is what I think, and this is what
dude, all I did was text Dick, and I was like, "Yo, look at this fucking faggot."
what I think is so funny about this too is I think he
like,
thinks,
I know you in real life. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, but here's what I think is so funny is I think Vito thinks that we're way meaner to him than we are to each other, and I just got to tell you, Vito, we're way meaner to each other.
Yeah, dude.
Than we've ever been to you. Even Dick and I are way meaner to each other than we've ever been to Vito.
So
like
when
that's the thing is, like, I feel like we handle Vito with such kid gloves sometimes, and
you have to.
And he still takes it the hardest of anybody.
I do. So when I texted Dick, Dick says, "Yeah, it's like tough for liberals right now. They can't take a ribbing."
Yeah.
I was just like, is this like really Trump has got to everybody?
Yeah. It's extension CDS. Like,
it's been a week and he's not even in yet. And like liberals look like fucking Ben Affleck smoking a cig.
Yeah, I haven't even pulled or I had this pulled up earlier.
See these fucking dumbasses?
Yeah, the head shaving is crazy.
You can't have my body anymore.
So, okay.
Yeah, have you seen this? Like LGBTQ crisis hotline calls have increased by 700% following Donald Trump's election victory. First of all, nothing has happened yet, you silly faggots. Nothing. And I did tweet. I posted. This is kind of a red herring because it's probably just two fags on the same call who won't get off from talking to each other. And that's just driven the percentages way up. Like, oh, can you believe he's like, he's going to make it illegal for us to be gay? Have you heard this? They can't get married. Like, no one is coming for your stupid gay marriage. You can have it.
It would be funny. It would be funny though if that was the case. And they're gonna take marriage from us. He was like, I never said I want to get married to you.
Right. Right.
And they just started arguing on the phone for hours on end. And somebody else tried to call. It's like, yeah, it's been busy. It's up like 700%.
It's insane. They're going nuts. They're shaving their heads. Like, you know, there's this.
You seen this thing? They said they're gonna wear these blue like bracelets or wristbands so that they'll know.
Yeah, you've seen this one. This is the big one that's going, like the one that's super Antifa like. Let me play this for everybody.
They're blue and on.
Yeah, this is the one that's very going viral. Also, I couldn't help but notice this and just be like, typical fucking women. It would take me 35 seconds to shave all the hair off their head. This has got to be a 2-minute video.
Obviously, you have to know about the sadness in her eyes and what losing the hair
Yeah, yeah. Look at her
means.
just staring straight ahead. Right? Just
What
like
a dumb statement this is.
Psychopath. And I don't know what song this is. This is probably Pink or something. Yeah, so now she looks like a space monkey. This is like the scene in Fight Club before they all go into Project AM. Like monkeys into space. And then, of course, the whole time it's been her dyke wife. And her dyke wife cutting her hair the entire time. For the record, I've never been kissed on the lips after someone cuts my hair, and I'd like that. I don't know if I have to pay for the service or what, but I'd like to see that.
Don't you go to a barber?
And my barber's very gay. I'm on the record for this. I'm very serious about this. Heterosexual men should not be allowed to cut hair, and women should not be allowed to cut hair. Only homosexual men should be allowed to cut hair.
But you just say you want to get kissed on the mouth.
Yeah, well, I want it on the menu. You know what I mean? Like just a little, hey, nice job.
So they have to bring out a chick from the back.
Yeah, they keep her in the back. She doesn't work, She does OnlyFans.
No, I like chicks that cut hair.
She does OnlyFans in the back, and then that funds the whole business.
Chicks
and then the homosexuals, they get to work like Edward Scissorhands.
Because they do the shampoo shit, and they get their
yeah. Oh yeah, that part's good. Yeah, women can shampoo me. Yeah, I like when women shampoo me.
That's the shit.
But the cutting and the kissing, let's leave that up to the experts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Women are way overplaying their hand. I said this on an X Space last night where I was like, hey man, you guys are overlooking how fun homosexual men are. Like, you're just like, we won't talk to you, we won't fuck you, we won't hang out with you. You're like, the faggots are having a blast over here and we're all invited. Right?
Yeah,
like,
we don't. Here's the other thing too is we can hang out with dudes and not fuck them.
Right?
They can't.
Yeah, they can't.
They're like, and which means they have to hang out with women.
Yes,
I hate women. So their whole thing is like, and we're gonna swear off men together, and that'll be their common bond is just hating men. But then they'll realize that they have nothing in common because they hate each other. Yeah, and I don't know how long their movement is gonna last. I give it 2 months.
Yeah, it's already ending. It's already ending. It's just, I'm sorry. Are the undesirables removing themselves from the sexual marketplace? Thank you. Like, that's the same thing as I had this pulled up earlier on X, where it's the story today that a ton of liberal people are like leaving X. They're all announcing they're leaving the platform. Like today, did you see Don Lemon was like, I'm officially leaving. He
got paid though. Right?
He made his own press release to leave X.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous.
Nobody cares. Announcing you're leaving is retarded. I just want everyone to know that I'm leaving. Who's coming with me?
Yeah,
Jan. Thank you, Jan.
Yeah, here we go. Here's this gayness.
Hi, everyone. I have loved connecting with all of you on Twitter and then on X for all of these years, but it's time for me to leave the platform. I once believed that it was a place for honest debate and discussion, transparency and free speech, but I now feel it does not serve that purpose. In addition, starting this Friday, November 15th, X is implementing new terms of service.
Look at this man's eyes. Look at his sleepy, cum-glazed eyes. They don't even open past.
That's not what that is.
They don't even open past halfway. They're just like, hey, everyone. I would just like to tell you how much I've enjoyed these last few years on X.
Yeah, that's not cum. That's Zempic.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a degree in hospitalization such as yourself. So I will defer to your expertise.
AIDS Zempic.
Ugh.
Which, among other things, states that quote, all disputes be brought exclusively.
By the way, do you like how his argument is like as if announcing you're leaving X couldn't be gayer? Don Lemon goes, and they won't even let me sue them for bullshit anymore. Like, that's his excuse. They won't let me sue them because all their lawsuits have to go through Texas now, which is pretty much the frontier.
Dude, he thought he was going to get the fucking Tucker Carlson treatment or whatever, and then he had the Elon Musk interview
on the X website,
and that was it.
As the Washington Post
what the fuck is this?
reported on X's decision to change,
You still listen to him?
This quote ensures that such lawsuits will be heard in courthouses that are a hub for conservatives, which experts say could make it easier for X to shield itself from litigation and punish.
Goodbye.
Okay, here's what bothers me about this, right?
All of it. Goodbye. Why are we even listening to him?
Here's what bothers me about this thing with Don Lemon. He goes, and this is something you're starting to see from these liberals and these people on the left. They go, look, these courts are going to be overrun with biased conservative judges. And you go, oh, how awful. What was in there before? Oh, extremely woke, biased liberal judges. Oh, I'm sure none of us were subject to any wrongful prosecutions or incorrect judgments or, injustices whatsoever because of that, right? Like, nobody was punished because of that before, right? It's just
so funny that they go.
Dissidence is insane.
Well, really, this is what happened. She only had $1.3 billion. Okay. For a campaign.
Just
all the celebrities.
Free. Yeah.
She only had all of the news networks and stuff. She had somewhat of like 60 billionaires or something back her.
Mm-hmm.
That, which is unfair because I mean all Trump had was one billionaire and his platform.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that is overrun and just too much for you. What happened was the same guy, Elon Musk, he sat down with him and was like, yeah, I want to have my show on here and we're going to do this interview. And then he had an interview and then he edited it on some bullshit and then released it. And Elon was like, fuck you doing? Your show's canceled. right? And then everybody's like, yeah, this is a free speech. And he goes, free speech? I'm the fucking boss. Like, I own the place.
So
like, there's a difference between like, okay, yeah, free speech. He didn't say you can't say it. He was just like, yeah. He was like, I'll just demonetize the show. You can still have your show on the platform. I just won't pay for it.
What I think is so funny is that like these liberals, or especially like the Don Lemon situation, is like in one of those cop movies where they're like, we're going to get this former criminal to help us get these criminals because he knows criminals. It would be like if that dude came on the job the first day and just started shooting people in the fucking head. And it was just like, hey, man, you can't do that here. Don Lemon came.
Whoa. I didn't know a guy was over here, Mr. Tyrant over here. Guy.
Yeah,
Can't shoot people in the head anymore at the workplace, huh?
Yeah, Don Lemon came Don Lemon came over to X and tried doing regular news on X, and Elon goes, oh, yeah, we don't do that here.
Yeah, well, like, he was still doing bullshit corporate nonsense.
That's what I just said. Yeah, he just came over and was doing, criminal news, and Elon goes, yeah, we're not going to pay you to do that. That's terrible. And he's like, well, if I can't speak freely and lie, then I don't want to be here.
He was like, well, should I not say those things? He's like, yeah, but they're like disparaging. And he goes, they're true. He goes, yeah, but no, it's not. He was like, even somebody who's like, we can depict some of the stuff and show where you just edited stuff together. Mm-hmm. And that dude was so butthurt about, and you look at all these people who I didn't know, like these celebrities and actors and all types of shit that had like grudges with Trump, like real actual like beef and shit.
Yeah, like
and the only reason that
about De Niro, that they're like, people think that De Niro is like this altruist, that his hatred of Trump is organic or about politics. It's not about that at all. It has to do with the fact that they've been competing for commercial real estate opportunities in New York for the last 40 years. People don't know that De Niro has a lot of his money in restaurants and a lot of those openings for like premier locations, you're competing with other corporations and companies. And when De Niro, let me see if I can find this article. De Niro started getting in with who's the sushi guy that's really big in LA. You know what I'm talking about.
The sugarfish guy.
Nobu, thank you.
Nobu
Yeah,
guy.
so he's the one who pretty much backed that chef from the beginning. But there was like a huge battle over, I guess, that location or whatever. The original one, I think, is in Tribeca or somewhere in that area. But yeah, I mean, like this is entirely about like 1%er personal bullshit. These are guys that are
so like Bill Maher hates Trump because Trump has a track record of when he sues you, he wins a lot of times, and he sued Bill Maher and won.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure he won against Bill Maher.
Or
Bill
they
Maher,
settled,
never
or something
forgot,
like
and
that.
they settled, or whatever the fuck. And and Bill Maher had to pay some money, or whatever, and like pay for the court costs, which is a pain in the ass, anyways. If you're like, even if you're rich, you're just like, what the fuck, right? Right? Like you could see Bill Maher being like, what the fuck, man, right? So the other one was, and they wheeled him out the week of the election. Mickey Rourke, right? And all the leftists started going, I always knew I liked Mickey Rourke, right?
Yeah, sure he did.
He's coming out bashing him. And lo and behold, Trump sued Mickey Rourke in the 90s. Because Mickey Rourke, being the movie star, but with like the bad boy rock star fucking sort of reputation with it, trashed one of his hotel rooms and did like $100,000 worth of damage. And he sued him. And Mickey Rourke never forgot that shit because he was just like, what are you gonna take me to court for? And he did. Right? Like that's what Trump does. He was like, yeah, just sue you. And like these dudes never forget that shit. They never forget that this dude, that's why they call him petty and small and stuff, because he sues them. So he's like, he's such a petty small man. What a petty small man. They're like, yeah, he sued you, huh? So the Bill Maher one was about the orangutan.
Yeah.
And they might have even, I don't know. Trump could have even lost that one. He still just like hates the fact that he sued him for it. They could have dismissed it. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean,
that case. But just the fact that Trump sued them is why they don't like him. Like every one of the dudes who like says that shit, you're like, why don't you like Trump? I'm like, oh, he's this and this and that. And you're like, did he sue you? And you're like, actually, yeah, one time. Like, they all have a story.
Well, and that's the thing that's so funny. It's like we always talk about, the liberal elitist actually being more racist than the people they call racist. It's kind of the same thing where these people who go against Trump, they act like they're men of the people or women of the people, but they actually have more shitty elitist behavior than even Trump does,
classist.
right? Yeah, so these are the kind of people that are like, oh, what do you still work a side job, you fucking loser? And you're just my parents didn't leave me a house in California from the 60s.
Yeah, or they even go, Trump wants to deport all the illegal immigrants. Who's going to mow your lawn now? You're like, first of all,
the Kelly Osbourne thing.
Most people mow their
Trump?
own lawns. Yeah.
Who has lawns out here? Who has a lawn? You know who takes care of my lawn is the lawn lord. That's who takes care of it, not me. I don't.
They don't have lawns in Lawndale.
Yeah, no, for real. There's just very few people have lawns, and if you do, you have just a sip of grass, and I'm pretty sure people can handle that themselves with a push mower.
They have lawns over there by the by the equestrian spots.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
and all them motherfuckers, they all have landscapers. And I'm like, dude, your yard is like fucking
8 by 8.
Yeah, dude, it's literally like it's like 50 yards area. And I'm like, why you got a service?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I almost had to hire a service last night because I India Hiroshima'd my fucking kitchen trying to cook something. I had this whole night plan where I was gonna go hang out. No, well, that would have been worse, yes. But
first of all, before you even get into that, you said something before we got on air that I was like, huh? Right? And I wanted you to explain
about showers making me have
absorption and you're like, yeah, because when you're dehydrated and then the water is just absorbs in the shower, and I just
hold on.
Are you saying you just go in and literally go in and just like suck up the water through your skin?
Your skin and your body absorbs water when you shower, right? If you're dehydrated and you get in and you take a shower, it will help rehydrate you faster than drinking water.
I don't think so. You lose water
in the shower.
It comes out of your pores.
But not when it's not when it's too hot. Do showers.
If it's a hot shower, you're definitely losing it because it'll come through your sweat.
Can showers hydrate you? Question. Okay, it says your skin is impermeable to water. Well, that doesn't sound legit.
Yeah. Well, so I was like, wait, you're a fucking Sponge Blob SquarePants in the fucking shower, and you're just sucking up water.
Hold on though. But then explain to me why showers allow me to have to shit when I can't shit or I'm constipated. If I take a shower, then I can shit. Explain that.
It's probably the first time you stood up and moved.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I've been standing up and moving and I cook some stuff. I was up and doing that.
Oh, but then after, I don't know. It's like that's the only thing I can relate. Like my dog, once he gets enough
that makes me have to shit.
Once he gets enough movement, he'll shit. But see, with me, it was like with coffee.
I've taken your dog for a walk, and he's not had to move at all, and the shit just comes out immediately. Your dog does not need to move to shit.
I've trained him to shit when he has a babysitter.
Okay, great. Thank you, I guess, for that. By the way, I don't pick it up. I just leave it because people go like, hey, clean your dog shit. And I go, this ain't even my dog.
That's they're gonna think it's me.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
then I'm gonna get a bad rap.
No, but why do they think it's you? You're way taller than me. There was some Reddit.
I don't know that. From far away, I could be just as fat, just as ginger.
No, not even close.
Same dog. They look at go white dog.
Yeah, no, it's not me. It's not mine. It's not my dog. Yeah. What I would do if I were you.
Look, if somebody like saw you doing it and they go, "Hey, you got to clean that up." You go, "I don't even know what you're talking about."
Yeah, I'm like, I don't live over here. And so what you do is if somebody comes over, first of all, the poop is good for the grass. Okay. And it's I take him to shit when nobody walks.
It's literally a law.
But I'll say, yeah, I don't care. What I'll do is what you should do is if people come to you and go, hey man, I think your neighbor was walking your dog and he shit everywhere. You go, oh no, I've heard that before. What it is there's these guys who live somewhere else in the neighborhood and they bring their dogs here to shit. And I'm gonna bust them. And then that's the route you take. You just saw the
dog take a shit.
Yeah, like it's only murders in the building, except it's dog shit. You know what I mean?
But there's no mystery. You just let the dog shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna construct a mystery around it.
No,
who done it?
They construct a who done it. I just get away with it. Yeah.
Tell you, pal, one of these, and you just walk past them. You're telling you, one of these days we're gonna get past it. We're gonna get to the bottom of it, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the way I look at it. Is like, I don't have a dog. What are they gonna do? Send me a letter and be like, you were shitting with your dog, and I'm like, I don't even own a dog, so have fun. See you in court. What are you gonna do?
That's crazy. They told me to get out of the tennis court with my dog one day.
Yeah, was he shitting on the tennis courts?
No, it was just a black lady that worked for the city at like 7:30 in the morning, and nobody was around. Nothing.
Nice.
And I just because there's like leash laws, but
you come off the leash,
fenced in.
The court? Yeah,
it's 7:30 in the morning. Nobody's there, right? And she pulled up to it because she saw my dog walking through. You know how she saw a white dog with no leash, and she was just like, how you doing? Not today.
Yeah.
And she gave me a reprimand, and I said, what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, do you love these women who just make things that
She's like, okay, we'll see about that. And then I'm like, all right.
I
And then
miss
I
the
just,
days.
and then I just left.
So as much as people talk about there's too much violence and murder on the streets in America today, behavior like that tells me that there's not enough. Because when I was a kid, right? Like I remember walking places with my older friends, and then you'd point out like a crime that was happening. You go, "Oh, look, they're doing a crime," and they go, "Shut the fuck up and keep moving." And you go, "Oh yeah, because they'll do the crime to us." And they go, "Yeah, dummy, it's mind your fucking business." And then you would hear stories in the neighborhood like, "Oh yeah, oh, did you hear so and so? His mother got shot," and immediately, your father or whoever you're around would be like, "Oh yeah, was she poking her fucking nose where it doesn't belong again?" Like that was the way I grew up, where it was just like women who poke their nose where they don't belong got dealt with and murdered, rightfully so. And then that just sort of stopped happening. Cameras, I guess. But there's too much of this Karening where and Karen's not a white thing. It's black women, it's white. It's a lot of black women who are like, what we not fitting to have is any fun or joy in this motherfucker at all, unless it's mine.
That's why they had a campaign on joy. It had to be manufactured.
Yeah, which everyone just went, black women, joy. Yeah, this is a lie. Trump. It's like, when have black women ever brought any joy to anyone? Anyone.
Sister Act 2.
Okay, that's true. That was good.
Back in the Habit.
That was a good one. Okay. And by the way, that was like 93, 94. So since then, in the last 30 years, any joy brought about by black women ever? Because I'll challenge that even when like a black woman does something awesome or super good for America, like a athletic accomplishment like Serena Williams or something, it immediately gets ruined because they get to the mic afterwards and they're like, as a black woman in racist America where everybody hate me for the color of my skin. It's like nobody fucking hates you for shit. They hate you because you keep talking about that. That's why they hate you.
You'd be like, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't. It's so funny too because they when you break down the demographics and they do this shit in comedy and they're like, you need a universal crossover, like you got to cross over, so you got to sell tickets to white people and stuff. Like black comics always talk about that, and it's funny to me to know that that's like the entire basis of them being like, yeah, because we're not gonna get anywhere if we just try and capitulate to just black women, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you have to have this crossover.
It's a dead end street. It's a dead end street.
Yeah, because they're this gatekeeper of like, all right, make me laugh, but don't say too much and don't talk about that. And you better be sensitive to our issues. But I know you ain't talking about me. And you're like, just shut it, Respucia.
Yeah, they're the fucking worst. They're the worst.
As far as audience members, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that it's like we're just, and that's the thing that enrages me the most about all this shit is people go, oh, it's fitting to be the worst time in America ever. Oh yeah, are we gonna stop producing more black millionaires than every other place in the world combined? No.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, where would you be without all of the crossover stuff, right? And it is true. It is true. You need the crossover.
You know how much Africa loves black people, because they created all these awesome sports leagues for them to enrich themselves in, right? Like, Africa has its own soccer leagues and football leagues and basketball leagues and hockey leagues and, everything so that black people can, perform and make money. Or, they have African American Idol and African, record label. Yeah, all these things that exist are purely American. Like all these ways that black people have enriched themselves for the last 50, 60 years are inherently and exclusively American.
I go one step further. Nobody has promoted them without want in return more than white Christian men.
Sure.
And women. Because Jews own the record labels. They own the movie studios. They own every way in which they can make money. They own the sports
football teams. The football teams.
They own the sports teams. Like They own every way in which you can enrich yourself off of black athletes and entertainers. So who is buying the product, supporting it, making sure that they feel accommodated, safe, tolerant, all the things that they know and project to the world, like human rights, every civil rights, everything they fucking know is an invention from white Christian men. And that's why in the movies, you never see them celebrated. I've never seen a movie. I see Black Hawk Down. I see all types of shit where they go.
What was the name of that movie?
Black Hawk Down.
It sounded like you said Black Hawk Down.
No, I'm saying, but you've seen where military movies and stuff where sometimes they depict us as the bad guys. I've never seen the IDF as bad guys. I've never seen the evil Jews in the South that own the plantations and stuff. I've never seen any of the things that is true in history. Larry David was on that show on PBS and found out his ancestors came from slave owners in Mobile, Alabama. They started the first synagogue there in 1884 or whatever. They owned slaves in Mobile, Alabama, were responsible for the slave trade there. He's like, "Whoa, get out of town. I didn't know anything about this." And the black host of the show was like, "Yeah, that's because they write the textbooks too."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's so all this bullshit about like this is the most racist place in the world is the South.
Imagine that moment. Imagine what that looked like, where it's like, listen, the blacks, here's the thing. We want to give you your freedom, but there's some things that need building first. And these building pieces are very heavy. And so if you wouldn't mind taking your nigger selves out to the fields and bringing some of the wood and the lumber and the things over, we're going to have these fine Italian gentlemen build us a church.
Well, and hear me out. It's very, very strong, and you're very capable. But what do you say that you just sort of lift all these things off of there and sleep outside in another house and never come inside here ever? Yeah. And we're gonna hire some people to, live on the land. And dude, their names were Johnson. Like, think about this. Think about like black names that are named Johnson. Woody Johnson is the owner of the Jets. He's as Jew as it comes.
Yeah.
Right. And I think about all the black guys with name Johnson. They go, yeah, they take the names of their plantation owners and like, I go, Johnson's a Jew name?
You know, it'd be hilarious.
That's crazy.
You know, it'd be hilarious is if a black millionaire or billionaire built a spite church, a spite black church right next to that synagogue, a synagogue, if you will. Put one in right next to it. It says, a spite church.
It's funny that you say that because, and this will go right into the cabinet appointments. The guy they picked for Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
Is a knight in the order. You can look this up. The Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre.
I feel like you're just making up words now.
No, type this in. The Equestrian Order of the Holy. And it'll probably just finish typing it.
Hold on, I'm pulling this up. Pete Hegseth. So you're talking about the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, this is the new dude. He's a Bronze Star winner and stuff. He's got this. He has the Jerusalem cross with the 4 other crosses on his chest tattooed, which is the cross of. And type this in. It's the.
Yeah, I know about his cross tattoo. Isabel Brown did a video about it earlier.
What are you typing in?
The tattoo thing. Yeah. So he has this, which is an Israeli cross, by the way.
No, it's called the Jerusalem cross.
Yeah. What did I say?
Type this in.
Okay, I'm doing it, Carl. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were the executive director of the fucking show. Let me get right on that for you, Rogan.
Okay.
What are you saying? Equestrian what?
It's the Equestrian Order of the Holy It's not images. It's the
Yeah, no results.
what results?
No results of what you just told me to type in. There's no results for that.
I can't see. You have his name and stuff in there. Erase all that.
Yeah.
Just
Hold
type
on.
in the
You're
holy
saying
order.
he's a member of that. Why would it not show up with his name? Yeah, Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Catholic Order of Knighthood under protection of the Holy See. Okay.
Yeah. So he's also been public that he's like a Zionist.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So that order is from the Catholic Church, and they establish it. There's a thing called the Status Quo Agreement established between the papacy and Israel. They protect the tomb in which Jesus was buried in.
Okay.
And the church that's above it. So there's about 30,000 members in about 40 countries. Most of them are donors and stuff, but it was established in the first one. They used to be soldiers in the First Crusade. They fought all the Muslims that were trying to destroy the tomb of Jesus. And Israel in the 70s or 60s blew up stuff and took land like they do, and took that land from Jordan and made sure that that part was in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have these motherfuckers literally protect the tomb of Jesus in Palestine, around that area.
Got it.
He just got named Secretary of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure that's kind of like.
So is he socks or is he an Xbox?
I don't know what that means.
We're going back.
Oh, the gifts. The gifts.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's somewhere in between socks and Xbox.
Yeah, so an Xbox is fun, but you need socks. Okay? Especially if the Muslims act up.
Maybe this is like pants.
Okay.
Or a pair of jeans or something.
Yeah, like if you don't wear them in public, you'll get
I can wear these out. These are nice. But also,
yeah, I have no problem with
can't wear these often.
Being one of these holy warrior type of dudes. Pretty cool.
Well, I'm just saying that's definitely what those crosses are.
Yes, and people are, the Dave Smiths of the world. Those people are mad because they're like, he's a Zionist, and they don't like the Marco Rubio thing because they're Zionists. But here's the thing, like, I don't, and this is I'm going to get labeled a Zionist for saying this, which I don't care, but like, I don't see Israel as a problem like I see China and the Middle East as problems. I also don't even see Russia as a problem the way that a lot of geopolitical people think Russia is a problem. I am of the mindset of Russia as another white, mostly Christian nation should be our largest ally. And for whatever fucking reason, we've somehow fucked that up. So, I just don't, that to me, the whole, like Israel's secretly manipulating everything about the United States. Okay, well, we can just stop letting that happen.
Easier said than done.
Okay, yeah, but these are the excuses.
Some of the first steps are what Thomas Massey.
But these are the excuses that we say that black people make about white people. Easier said than done. Oh, then just go do it.
Yeah,
go do it.
So Thomas Massey proposed a bill to Congress that dual citizenship for members of Congress would be illegal or unconstitutional or whatever the verbiage was, but definitely forbidden. No longer be
you can't.
Dual citizenship.
You shouldn't have an allegiance. You shouldn't have, unless you were born somewhere else, because you don't have to be born in America to be a congressman or senator, right?
They should change that.
So okay, that's a thought. I don't agree. I also don't think you should have to be born here to be president either. I think that's stupid.
You think someone from another, not America, should be the president of America?
No. Let me explain to you why that's an arbitrary thing. Bring yourself back into frame. You're out of frame. One of the things that annoys me is that somebody could be born in this country and then raised and radicalized in another part of the world their entire life and still be able to be president here. Somebody could be born in another country and raised with American values their entire life and not be able to be president because they were technically not born in this country.
Well, how do they have American values if they weren't here?
If they were born somewhere else and then come over here at 1 or 2 years old and they spend their whole life in America.
That,
you know what I mean?
No, I'm saying the people that lived abroad. You said they never been here, but they had American values.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, according to the law, a person who was born in another country and then raised in America cannot be president. Even if they were technically born, let's say, in Iran and came here at 1 year old and spent their whole life as an American.
I see what you're saying.
They can't be president.
Like Patrick Bet-David can't run for president.
Correct. And Patrick Bet-David would be a great president. But there are also American-born people who hate this country or have also never lived here. They've lived abroad most of their lives, and they could be president, and they could hate America.
Expats that are losers.
Yes. So that the technicality of that is ridiculous. You know, and it's also like it's so arbitrary to believe
that there an age limit?
Inherently makes. Yeah, I think there should be a minimum. I don't have a problem with the presidential minimum age.
No, I mean
35. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I mean like at what age would you say they're able to make those decisions, be indoctrinated in which they could no longer, because you know the Olympics have rules or FIFA have rules when you declare to play for a country, right? And you could have some ties elsewhere and they go, you can declare to play for Italy, right? Or play for the United States, but you got to make this decision and it's got to be within a certain age or we'll cut it off and you can't play at all type shit.
Yeah, I just think I think it
is it 1 year old, like they're babies and they come here.
No, I don't think you have a cutoff for it. I just think like, again, it's all arbitrary, right? Obama was, you could argue that Obama was, if he was born in America, spent enough time abroad as a young person to at least have mild contempt for what America is and what it stands for, right? Especially knowing his background and his father's background and some of the influences he had as a young person. So that, to me, that's just such an arbitrary distinction to say you have to have been born in America. I think you have to be an American. And I think that comes out in the campaigning. Like Kamala Harris was born here. Kamala Harris hates America and everything it stands for. So the idea that by keeping out natural born citizens, you're keeping out enemies of the state, to quote Trump and Hitler, we have enemies within. So there are people that are born here that hate this country more than the people who are the Patrick Bet-Davids of the world, who come to America and want to defend and preserve what it is. Patrick Bet-David served the United States military. That, to me, should automatically qualify somebody for office, whether they were born here or not.
Right, which I think there should be a constitutional amendment for that. But that's the problem with the mass immigration. And now it's a not to be the slippery slope guy, but it's a slippery slope. If I bring in and import a bunch of military-aged third worlders who have no regard for the fellow countrymen here, who I told them, I'll make you a citizen and all you got to do is serve, and then I give them marching orders of put all the Americans in camps and kill them, they would have no problem doing it because they're just doing it to be citizens and all that.
Well, you're describing Minnesota.
I'm saying that's why I'm against the any changes to unnatural citizen fucking running for president type shit.
But hold on though. What I'm saying is it's completely arbitrary and stupid to have one and not the other, because Ilhan Omar is not a president, but she doesn't have to be to do exactly what you just talked about. Right. They've moved thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of military-aged Ethiopian and Somalian immigrants into Minnesota. Then they elected her to be their representative, and she can do all the damage you just talked about in that state without having been here, born here, and without being the president. So the distinction is arbitrary. Either it's a requirement for everyone, or it's a requirement for none of them. But
that's why when you brought it up the first time, I said, I would rather have it where they have to be born here to represent Americans,
right?
And keep it across the board, because it's got to be the case for president. So it might as well be the same for Congress.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, and I think there are plenty of people that are born here that hate America and would love to destroy it. You know, don't make me roll the tape.
Yeah, but so I don't get what it is. You should just let it happen.
No, I'm saying making citizenship, birthright citizenship, the distinction is non-effective. It's not effective. You're not going to keep out people that want to destroy the country by making that a qualifier, and you are going to prohibit some people that love this country by making it a qualifier. It shouldn't be a qualifier to hold office at all. I don't know if anybody watching has some thoughts on this, but feel free to jump in with comments if you're on X or YouTube or whatever. We're at 5:44 right now.
Yeah, I don't think Ilhan Omar should be in office.
Yes, but the citizenship, her birthright citizenship wouldn't be a distinction. Like if she were born here, you wouldn't think she deserves to be in office any less because her views are very un-American. So
yeah, but at least I would be okay with her running.
Yeah, but
she would have to get defeated on merit.
But yeah, she still has.
She'd be okay. Yeah, but I'm saying it would be okay with that. But I'm not okay with the fact that she's a foreigner who hates America.
Sure.
So if you say it's blatant, we have enemies within, sure. But I mean, why just roll back that stuff? Just be like, well, fuck it, we got this. You might as well. I say the opposite. I go, no, that's why we should put an end to that.
I don't agree. I don't think it makes a difference. And by the way, like immigrants are the children of immigrants. They're going to grow up with the same mentality. They're going to be raised with the same values. Like the distinction of saying someone has to be born here is arbitrary because they're going to be born with the same values that their immigrant parents came here with.
That's why you have to instill American values in the people that come here.
You can't control that. You can't
with nationalism programs and all types of things.
Yeah, but I understand
actually having pride in our country, but all those things.
But you're defeating your own argument because if those things work, then where they're born doesn't matter, and they
put a stop to them.
No,
in school we put a stop to them.
You're not listening. If those things are effective, where the kids were born won't matter. They will become patriotic no matter what. So the distinction is arbitrary.
Can we see if they work? Why do we put a stop to them? Can we bring that stuff back? The Pledge of Allegiance? Can we do that stuff?
The point is when we did those things in the 50s and 60s and 70s, all the way
90s, they were effective.
They were effective, but it didn't matter if immigrants were born in other countries. They assimilated to that worldview. I don't disagree that we need to have a more pro-American, in terms of like, the narrative behind our film and television and our news and everything else. There needs to be more patriotic messaging and American nationalist messaging. However, if that is effective, it will be effective for immigrants and nationals alike. And the same way it was in the first 60 years.
Right, but they put a stop to it. So when you say the enemy within, those people have put a stop to those things. That nationalism is bad, that we shouldn't do these things, that kneeling for the flag and the people who thought it was disrespectful were made to be villains. So much so.
Yeah, but that's my point. You're making my point for me. Colin Kaepernick was not an immigrant. Colin Kaepernick is an American-born citizen who in a single gesture created a movement to destroy the fucking nucleus of patriotism in America. So when you say like that guy should be allowed to serve office, somebody
that's taking the thing away. That's taking the measures in place that were there, the nationalism, all that, and destroying them in real time by the public getting behind it. When we put a stop to those things, that's when we start noticing like, hey, why do we have these people who aren't even from here do this? That's when we started noticing it, really, because they used to assimilate when we had these things in place, and we didn't destroy them.
Right, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to force that with an authoritarian policy, and it's not going to work. By mandating it, it's not going to work because it's going to be perceived as authoritarian.
It used to work.
But we didn't do it that way. We didn't force people to assimilate. We just gave them a ton of good reasons why they should. And it was success stories.
We kind of forced them to, though.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, every day at school. That's what the Pledge of Allegiance was. It's a pledge of allegiance.
I don't think that's authoritarian forcing people to do that. But I do think it's required. Like I'm against church in secular schools. But I do think that patriotism should be a requirement for any school funded by the government. And so pledging allegiance should happen. Like, that's about honor and duty to country. But that should be taught and instilled regardless of where kids are born.
And it's not anymore because
I understand, but
of the same thread, the same.
But you're talking about two different things, and you were making my argument for me. You're saying if we brought those things back, they would work, and I agree. But I'm saying it would work no matter where somebody was born either.
Well, it's basically this. Since they took the things away, they need to make the law the same as the president. If they bring the things back and it's effective, they need to change the presidency law.
Yeah, I think that. I think it should.
That's the way it should be.
I think where you're born shouldn't matter. And by the way, like if we're gonna continue to say we're a nation of immigrants, it's the dumbest shit ever. So if America is about a set of ideals, like I would rather have Patrick Bet-David as president than Kamala Harris, and I think you would agree. And Patrick Bet-David can't run for president because he wasn't born in America. And obviously Kamala Harris can because she was. But she clearly does not have American values and American perspective. She was just born here. That's awful. So I think it's arbitrary. And I think most people would agree.
Yeah. So if we keep letting it go and where we keep destroying America and hate nationalism and all that, then they have to change the fucking law to let anybody like PBD or somebody be president. But if we actually instilled nationalism and the effective things that worked for fucking hundreds of years in this country again, then we can go back to going, hey, maybe the president laws is kind of
aren't we trending in that direction?
Good.
Aren't we trending in bringing nationalism and patriotism back? I think that's what this election was America saying.
So if you do, then you can change the House of Reps law to reflect the presidency. And the Senate law to reflect the presidency.
You're saying the other way around. You're saying if it does work, then you don't care where people are born.
Correct, because it's like a de facto assimilation.
On that we agree. I just don't think that the other thing protects you against bad American ideas or anti-American ideas the way that you're pretending.
Only and honestly, dude, it comes from fucking entertainment and sports. Dude, sports used to be so fucking American, and now they're like, we need to really grow the game. The global effort of the NFL, the global effort of the NBA. Like, stop with globalism everywhere. Like, the reason that you're here in the goddamn USA is because we're the best athletes. You want to play us. Stop the bullshit. There's one international team. It's the goddamn Toronto Raptors. There's one, it's fucking, there's, the Canadian NHL teams, and they still don't win the Stanley Cup. They're mad about it. There's like things that we do. Yeah. Like, we're awesome at sports. We come here because we promote them. The same thing we were talking about with black athletes. We'll promote you, but like, don't disrespect America. Like, realize we're the shit for a reason. And like, the forced assimilation is not forced through, like you said, it's incentivized, but it's heavy-handed incentivization. It's like, dude, you're not gonna fucking be a part of America if you hate this fucking place. There should be a concerted effort to go, if you hate it, leave, and be serious about it. There should be funds that buy people one-way plane tickets to get the fuck out of here. Like you bitch and moan on a website how much you hate America on X. We should have a company that just goes and gives you a plane ticket to get the fuck out of here, and we film it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, but what you're talking about is instituting two things in this country that will help steer it in the right direction, which is celebrating pride in country. And the other side of that is shaming hatred for the country. And the problem is, in the name of free speech, we have frowned upon the shaming of hatred of this country, and that's been wrong. Like, to say that we shouldn't shame people for, criticize America, but do it from a constructive place where you look like you care about participating in the solution. And if you're not interested in that, you should be shamed and told to get the fuck out of here. And that part hasn't happened. Like, and that's, I think that's a couple things. I think that's because conservatives, for the most part, are too fucking polite. I think they're too polite and they're too nice. Even in like casual dinner conversation, liberals will sit at a mixed dinner table and say whatever the fuck they want without concern about offending anyone. And conservatives sit there and keep their mouths shut without offending anyone. And
I gotta say, it's such a Christian thing too.
Yeah, stop
to
it.
be so tolerant. Whether they're gay, whether it's activist black BLM people that hate white people and outwardly say it, whether it's Jews who are like, we hate Jesus, that's a lie. There is no Messiah. And we just go, okay, well, you're still welcome in our country, and we have all the things, and we've made it nice. Just don't break the law, or you'll go to jail, okay? And it's like, at some point, it's just like, when does the disrespect stop and like the foot down as a parent? Go enough.
Well, we'll crack into something a little pop culture related to that. Why is Sopranos the most loved television show of all time? I don't think it's the mafia. I don't think it's the acting. I don't think it's the cinematography. I think it's that. I think Americans love that show because they miss the days where a bunch of liberal, smart mouth kids would sit at the dinner table and spout shit off. And there'd be that one guy at the dinner table that's going, I don't want any faggots, Jews, and niggers at the table. And they just go like,
and they go, whoa.
Yeah. And I go, even if I don't agree, I miss that there was always one of those at the table. You know what I mean? And so
Uncle Joan has lost his mind.
Yeah, his fucking mind, right? But there was this that it maintained order and balance. You know what I mean? It was like it restored the order of the force. You know what unfortunately happened is that America is sort of like become Star Wars without a Darth Vader, where like the liberals haven't been challenged on their viewpoint for so long, and they've just regarded things that think differently from them as evil. And then, like Kylo Ren shows up and we go like, this guy's making a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And
that goes back to, censorship and stuff too. It's just like when the left became this whole censor machine and they're like blaming, the fact that like, oh, it's all right-wing propaganda. That's why Trump can really get out. All the young males are all eating up right-wing propaganda. It was just like, what do you call all the shit that you guys send out to all the young girls who are like popping birth control like it's fucking Skittles, and they're just like shaving their heads, screaming into the void that is TikTok, that their rights just got taken away. Mm-hmm. They're being gaslit by a bunch of fucking adults, by a bunch of grown people are gaslighting these young girls into selling them shit.
Yeah,
it's all marketing. They're selling them. They got to sell them the fear so they can sell them the rest of the shit.
Well, and here's one of the biggest problems is that good women, right? Like here's the difference. You and I, we do try with our friends like Vito. We do. We're like, hey man, you got to see the flaw in your logic on that, right? Like you understand you were wrong about that thing that we're talking about. Like, that was, you were off base on that, right? Or we'll even engage in debate. The good conservative women, they have no interest in saving stupid liberal women or helping them or any of that. Like they have no fucking desire to even wade in those waters. You know what I mean? And fairly enough, because for a lot of these, here's the thing is like the civil war of women in this country started in high school. There were girls who were like, fuck you, bitch. You're going to never leave this town and you're going to get married and you're going to shit out a bunch of kids and you're not going to do anything with your life. And I'm going to leave this town and I'm going to go to college. I'm going to make something of myself and I'm going to be way happier than you. And then they both did what that girl said. And then the girl who went out to have a career and everything else hates herself. And the girl who never left town is happy and loves life and loves her kids and loves her family. And the reckoning for the liberal woman is either number one, I was wrong or I was lied to my entire life and I went and did this because they told me this was the better thing and I hate it. And now I can't go back because I shit on that for 30 years. And that is the corner that liberal women have painted themselves into. It's almost like they chose a life that was guaranteed to make them unhappy and now they're mad that it did.
Yeah, and that's why you and I have talked about that before when like these actresses basically have secret pregnancies and want to hide it.
Oh yeah,
they don't want their fucking psycho fans to be like, but wait a minute, you're the number one advocate for abortion. How can you're having babies out here? And they're like, well, yeah, I mean, what am I going to let these fucking sexy ass eggs dry up and not make beautiful babies with this person I love?
Here's the thing that annoys the fuck out of me too, that people don't understand, right? Is that you have a woman like Amanda Seyfried who will go on Instagram and she'll make all these posts like, we got to preserve women's right to choose. We got to do this, that. We got to, Kamala 2024. We got to. And then you go to the rest of her shit and it's like, here's me and my kids. Here's me living on a farm with my husband, not in Los Angeles because it's crazy. You go, wait a minute, bitch. You don't live according to any of this shit you're preaching. So
Dude, Beyonce.
When I look at that, I go, oh, you don't even believe in this shit. You're just trying to stay employed and you got to tout the bullshit so that they keep working you. But you can't even lie enough because anyone could just look at your life and go, bitch, you're pro-life. You live on a farm. You got 2 kids. What are you talking about?
Dude, Beyonce, even Lizzo, all of these, Adele, all of these women sell sad breakup music and shit for lonely chicks, and they all go home to men.
Yeah.
And they all just like, fuck, man, they're the worst. Who run the world, girls? That's right, ladies. Buy them tickets. All right. Peace out, y'all. Good night. And then they just go home to guys and just live the traditional.
Yeah.
I love cozying up to you. And like the dude's like, yeah, that's right, bitch. Like,
here's another one. Chrissy Teigen. Women's right to choose, blah, 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 everything else. By the way, I'm supported by a millionaire musician husband and I have 3 kids or whatever. It's like, you're all fucking liars. You're all full of shit. You're all full of shit. You know what I mean? And she goes, oh, I needed that's why I love that video you and I both shared that Isabel shared last week. We're really pumping Isabel's dick here. But the one about the abortion doctor who was like,
1,200. He was like, I basically killed 1,200 kids.
Yeah, and he was just like, there's no circumstance where there's almost no circumstance. And he even said, of 1,200 abortions,
he said 9 were. He said 6 of them were complicated. He said 9 total was in like genetic defects.
Yeah.
All of the rest were just because they didn't want it.
Yeah, just because. And he goes, and how do you reconcile that? I can't reconcile that. So, it's like those are the listening to the voices of those people is a big part of what changed my mind on abortion. And I think even yours has changed since you and I first met. Like, I think when I first met you, you had similar views to what I had in the beginning, which was, hey, listen, man, you're never going to stop it. You're going to try to control it as much as you can, but they're still going to do it, or et cetera, et cetera. And then as you peel back the layers and you understand like what the pro-abortion movement has done to the psyche of women and their understanding of the value of human life in totality, then you realize like, oh, wow, this is the thing nobody talks about with abortion. It's destroyed the lives of millions of women who've never had one. And no one talks about that number, but like the concept, the idea that it is a human right of theirs that needs to be protected and preserved, the right to kill another human being because they might want to do something sometime on a Saturday. It's destroyed the worldview of millions and millions.
The fact that it won't, I heard girls say this all the time, and they post it in comments and stuff. And they go, "Can you believe that this government is going to make women carry a fetus for 9 months and stuff?" Like they are almost like being pregnant is a punishment for their body. And that when this prison sentence of 9 months is over, then go ahead. Why would I care about that fucking thing? It's the most insane, soulless. I have no other words for it, because like I didn't view it as that. I viewed it as like, women's right to choose, blah blah blah, and sometimes birth control doesn't work. I didn't think they were going in there month 8 and this chick is just like, I thought it was going to work with this guy, but it's not, so fuck it. And you're just like, dude, that's not how this shit works, dude.
It's as simple as this. Like, when we were kids and maybe less religious or younger and less religious, when people would go, that's the devil right there, that's the devil's handiwork, and you'd kind of roll your eyes. What's more the devil than convincing women that selling their soul for the illusion of freedom of choice? How do you describe that as anything other than the devil? I mean, that is the devil personified. To get these women to trade their soul, their eternal happiness for this idea of freedom.
It really is a soul, because I mean that's the thing about women and their femininity. is it makes that's like what makes it be like, oh, women are nurturing. That's what makes it like this beautiful thing where you can like actually look at women, take a step back, and not see like how retarded and stupid and selfish and all that stuff that they are. You can actually step back and go, wow, look at them caring, nurturing beings that they are.
Yeah.
When women were like gladly go like, and I know it's like tongue in cheek at this point for these women to make these jokes, but like, I'm gonna go have an abortion right now. If there's a drive-through abortion on, stuff like that. Like, if men could get abortions, they would fucking. And that's how
at every street corner, yeah.
And that's how they don't know shit about men. Because men, if it was up to men, would have a basketball team full of kids, right? That they didn't have to do anything with. They were just there, right? Here's a new kid.
Here's a comment from Leaf. My children drive me crazy. Wouldn't trade them for anything. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have a bit that I'm working on in the new hour that's about, I think I might have mentioned this on the show before, but I have a bit that I'm working on in the new hour where I'm just like, thank God for technology, because I'm getting too old to have kids of my own. But at least now, because of the internet, I can just enjoy everyone else's kids. And that just doesn't sound good coming off the tongue. But there is this thing of like, if you went through my social media like suggestions based on an algorithm in my 20s, it would be like bikini chick, porn, sports, whatever. And now it's like dogs and families. My entire fucking feed is like families at the park, kids playing, dogs, you know what I mean? And that's just so that when I finally snap and kill all these people, there will be no paper trail.
Damn, mine's like kids with Down syndrome, food.
Yeah, I got
dogs.
Midgets. Did you get? I sent you a midget. Well, I get a little midget action too. I see those. So
I got a lot of downy ones.
You can reprogram your social media to be awesome. Like that's in a weird way. It's like when people go, "Isn't social media the worst?" You go, "Actually, no. If your social media is the worst, you're the worst." Like
somebody tried to tell me that shit too.
Mine are just kids farting in each other's faces and fucking pushing each other down slides, and dogs doing silly shit, and retardeds, mostly because you send them to me, and midgets. Like my social media is fucking awesome.
Dude, I have so many like stories. It'll be like a Down syndrome kid who's giving like a speech, and I'll be like, here's a like big fella, right? Just like, and then like the next day my whole algorithm is just like fucking 4 kids with Down syndrome from Indiana. I guess started a rap group.
Oh dude, yeah, those are the best. Yeah, I have cooking video.
Okay, but I have a problem with this. Okay, this is what I can't do. I might get heated from this. Okay. Why is it there is an abundance of complete fucking autistics and slobs and just grosses in their car eating food from fast food joints and stuff, like, here's the newest this thing and it's amazing, look at this pizza and it's covered in ranch, and you're like, get the fuck off my fucking screen. I hate them. I hate all of them. Why is there a fucking fountain of fucking disgusting payphone smelling ranch dressing on your center console?
Carl, that is your front facing camera, and what you have to do is you gotta just press the button so that it doesn't show you yourself when you're in the car. Okay, I know that it's enraging, okay, but you can just press the button and use the backwards.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh hey, what's going on? I'm eating this new thing. It's fucking disgusting. I'm gonna try this new pizza from everybody's talking about it.
Carl, that only pisses you off because it has like 20 million views, and you're like, what the fuck the guy gotta do to get some eyeballs around here? Be retarded and try things? Hey, I think we just found
it's just because I don't want the word of mouth from these fucking people. I could give a fuck what they think is good.
Yeah,
but it's like I go on a feed and it's just some fucking idiot. It looks like they're on their lunch break, but they're retarded, and so like they don't really have a job. They're just on break.
You know, retarded people do also get lunch breaks, right?
I thought we're on break. I'm coming back later.
He's making them at night. Shout out Shane Gillis. I did make a grilled cheese at night the other night, and I felt like I was the most. I completely was so sad that I missed the opportunity.
Well,
to
tell me what
post
you
it.
actually made the other night.
Are you talking about my mess last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started to tell that story. I'll tell the story and then we'll get out of here. But yeah, I tried to make, what'll happen when you have a live-in partner, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, is that, and they love food, they'll go through Instagram and they'll look at all these recipes that, Australian women come up with in their kitchens that are like multi-millions of dollars. And they're just like, okay, so if you if you're trying to be healthy and watch your macros like me, I've made a beautiful Thai chicken salad, and here's how it is. And so they do this like little 1-minute video of how to make a thing, and then your girlfriend will send that to you and go, hey, can you make this for me? And you go, yeah, I love you, I'll make it for you. And then what you realize is that, oh, that minute, that's actually 6 hours of work edited into 1 minute. And so I was making a fucking Thai peanut dressing from scratch last night, and I have all the gadgets and gizmos. I put it in the mini food processor, which I make my dressings with.
You don't need all these gadgets.
I have gadgets, and I put all the stuff in there, and I go to whip it, and I forget that I need to hold my left hand on the top, that the pressure from my right hand holding the blender part is not enough, and I shoot. And when I say shoot, I mean like if you've ever seen a black guy come in porno.
Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck?
that is what happened in my kitchen last night.
Why is that the analogy?
Teriyaki Bukakke. It was just in an immediate ripcord, and it exploded all over the entire kitchen. And it was everywhere. It was in every crease and crevice, every drawer lid. It was like, I'm just going to find some inside of a salt shaker tomorrow. I mean, I did not know that kind of dressing could travel that kind of distance, but it was a nightmare. And it's one of those.
Absolutely not.
It's one of those. It would have been less of a mess if I blew my brains out in my kitchen. I promise you.
I'm not clean.
I'm not clean.
I'm not clean because I just clean.
Yeah.
I'm a bully.
So I cleaned everything like a murder scene, started over, did it again, and apparently it was pretty good. But yeah, it was a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare, and this is why you should stay single forever if you can.
That's it's not like, yo, make sure you take precautions in the kitchen. It's
no, because
if I didn't have to do it in the fucking first place.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. When you love someone, you do things because you love them, and then you can't be mad at them when you do it badly. Like, there's no one to blame. I'm not my father. I'm not going to hit somebody else because of my own anger and rage issues, right? Like, you can't just take it out on people. And then the problem is that what happens?
What's the problem? That ain't no problem.
Here's the problem, though. And this is why it's even worse when you have kids. The problem is the joy she had when it was done and she was eating it and she loved it. I completely forgot how mad I was that I destroyed my whole kitchen and made a mess. And so, like, that's the poison that sucks you in, is that high you get from bringing joy to another person.
That's their trick too.
It's the same thing when you go cook for these homelesses. You're back there and you're working like crazy and you're just like, Jesus Christ, there's so much fucking work. I got to feed these fucking meth heads and crack addicts. And then they wheel a lady out with no arms and legs. And she's just like, ooh, what y'all making? Tacos? I ain't had these since I was in Vietnam. And you're just like, oh, now I love this lady. And now I put me back to work. You know what I mean?
Her name is Barbara. And they give her a fucking plate of fucking munch on.
But this is why I go on these rants when I talk about people like, you don't have depression, you lack perspective. Like, try doing something for another person. You will not be able to help but feel good. Even if you fucking hate what you're doing, even if it's something you would never do for yourself, when you do things for other people, you can't help but feel good when they appreciate it. You know what I mean? So it's like that is the essence to me of Christianity that doesn't get talked about enough, is the acts of service. And that, I think, is where all other religions fall short, because I don't see any other religions promoting acts of service the way that Christians do and Catholics do. And I think the more kind of shit you do in service of other people, the more you'll never be depressed. You'll never be upset.
For sure. Real quick before you leave, couple of rundowns of the picks.
Okay. Yeah, sports. Let's go.
Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence.
It's a consolation prize. Everybody wanted her as Secretary of Defense, but I get it. I think that's fine.
She is the one who was called a Russian asset, right? Remember that? And the whole Russia hoax thing, and Hillary Clinton sort of fucking did that. She's gonna fucking be in charge of all these fucking people, so they can't weaponize this bullshit anymore against American citizens running for president. Because anyway, then there's the new Attorney General. Did you see that?
Yeah, I had a good. Yeah, I like that. Don't you like that?
Yeah, because he knows all about the illegal lawfare, and right back at you. Here he comes. He's now the AG. And then we got Thomas Massey running the agriculture over there, Secretary of Agriculture.
Yeah, here's a God, I don't want to subscribe the Washington Post. Why would I want to subscribe?
Wait, please. You gotta wait.
Yeah, here we go. Share this tab instead. Oh, God damn you. Washington Post trying to get me to subscribe here. I was trying to show this. It's got this thing in. So anyway, if you have a Washington Post,
Josh Denny for Department of Veto Re-Education.
I accept. I accept. Yeah, but anyway, Washington Post has this kind of cool little tracker that you can. I can watch it on my phone because I have it on my phone. I don't have it on this browser. But yeah, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Homeland Security Kristi Noem, National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, Lee Zeldin for EPA, Ratcliffe for CIA, Stefanik for United Nations. You know what's interesting is surprising amount of females in an administration for a guy who never surrounds himself with smart or talented females. Right, Mark Cuban?
Nice. Yeah, so those are that's going to fill up. By next week, we'll probably have a rundown and talk about each of them because it's not full.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and everybody's, the thing that's sort of circulating on X tonight is like, oh, it's Trump needs approval to create a new division, like the Doge division. He's going to have to get approval to do that. No one's going to push back against that. He has the House and the Senate. That'll get pushed through. There will be a new department. And it will probably just replace the Department of Education. I mean, he said, I'm going to abolish the Department of Education. So they're probably just going to replace the Department of Education with the Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, it'll probably revamp something, and they'll get rid of some department we don't even know about.
So, and do you agree with that about getting rid of a federal education program and just relegating it to the states like abortion?
Yeah, they created the Department of Education in 1979 with Jimmy Carter. Before that, it didn't exist. When your dad was educated, when my father was educated, when my mother was educated, when we make movies about Oppenheimer and the times in which men were great and the space programs and all that stuff. And now nobody makes anything, nobody does anything. It's because we have the Department of Education. Yeah. So we make movies about the time when they didn't have it and we had the brilliant minds. So
good point.
Let's go back to that.
Yeah.
But all right, man, I'm going to let this dog out because he's
all right, buddy.
He's like,
thank you guys for tuning in. As always, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/The Big Uglies Podcast. Go over and subscribe to us on iTunes and Spotify and all of those places as well. We'll see you next week right here on X. And yeah, thanks, guys.